Hey everybody, JJ here, back again with another Saturday of Zoom networking. And man, oh man, do we have a special guest for you today. We always talk about the real value in real estate are the people you meet. And if you do this right, make yourself visible. It's not who you know, it's about who knows you. And you need to network with intention so that you can meet successful people. The success of your business is predicated by the 5 or 6 people you engage with the most. And ideally, you want this to become successful people. You want to be the poorest, dumbest person in the room. You want to surround yourself with intelligent, successful people. And our guest speaker is an example of someone who's extremely intelligent, extremely successful. He's recognized around the country, if not around the world, as an extremely successful real estate entrepreneur and investor. He's a family man, just a really great guy with a great heart. I'd like to introduce my good friend, Tim Mai. Tim, how are you?
Doing great, JJ. Thanks so much for having me on. Hello, everyone. Yeah, awesome to be on here with you on a Saturday. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, as you know, real estate investors work 7 days a week. Here I am,
Yes, it
seven,
does.
7 weeks a day. Hey, for those that don't know you, Tim, where in the country are you located?
I am in Houston, Texas.
Fantastic. You guys got a football team, baseball team,
We
basketball
do
team.
the Texans. Well, yeah, we have all the teams. I'm not sure. We don't have a hockey team, but other than that, but yes, we pretty much have all the teams. Yeah.
Well, Houston is actually on my bucket list, Samantha, and I've been to a number of ballparks around the country. I think, I think she's been to about 10. I've been to about 13. And Houston, the Astros Stadium is definitely one that's on our bucket list. Hey,
Yeah.
let's move into real estate really quick. That's what everybody wants to hear is your topic. Your topic today is raising capital for real estate, and there's nothing more important. But I just want to hit on one thing before we get going. Um, what did you do before you became a real estate investor? I want to ask it in this way. When you were in high school, in your teens or your 20s, was real estate even on the horizon for you?
Definitely not. So I grew up in the hood. I'll make my long story short. I moved here, migrated here to the U.S. With my older brother. At that time, I was 12 years old. He was 19 years old. The rest of my family weren't able to escape out of Vietnam. It was just my brother and I. So we grew up, just the two of us, no parents. We could do whatever the heck we wanted to do, and pretty much middle school, high school. I was living Section 8 housing apartments, during college, I got recruited to work for an IT company up in Dallas. This is during the dot-com days. And then, of course, the dot-com bust came along. And in 2002, the company went belly up and laid everyone off. And so I was forced to figure out what am I going to do?
Now, let me
What
ask
am I going
you,
to do next?
how
Yeah.
old are you at this time?
So I was 22.
Okay.
Was it
Well,
22?
wait a minute. You're 22
Yeah.
today, aren't you?
Yes, I wish. No, actually, I was 20. No, by this time I was 27, not 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 27.
So you still weren't in real estate at this time.
Yeah, well, so after I got laid off, was when I went to the bookstore and start reading up, as much books and education as I could for free. I have a funny story about that, uh, but on how I did my first real estate deals. But yeah, I started. One of the first books I read was Robert Kiyosaki book, and then Robert Allen's books, and yeah, and I read somewhere in those books. I read that over 80% of self-made millionaires in America invest in real estate. And so I thought to myself, it's like, well, if that's what other self-made millionaires do, and I want to be a self-made millionaire, then that's what I need to do. And that's how
Yeah.
I found my way into real estate investing.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so you've been doing this for a minute, as they say. And
And I
Well,
have lots of gray hair to show for it too.
there you go. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I mean, you've actually got your own education program to some extent, or you're helping people learn how to do real estate and capital raising.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been 22 years now since I've been in real estate. I've done all kinds of deals in real estate. The first 20 of those 22 years, I was primarily in the single family homes and land space. And then in the last 2 years, I've been doing more real estate syndication on apartment complexes, like bigger assets. Yeah. Land development, things like that in the last couple of years.
So you're definitely qualified to talk about capital raising. So, I started 6 years ago in the investment education aspect, and one of the things I found out really quickly were, find the deal, find the money. So we have new investors on this group as weeks and months down the line, new investors will be watching this video. Obviously we've mentioned this earlier in our call today. We have experienced investors on the call. But when people are looking to raise capital as they're newer to the game,
Mhm.
what are some of the things people need to look to do to make that ball start to roll?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll talk from two different perspectives, right? Because the single family home kind of capital raising, finding private lenders, is a bit different from the syndication business, finding passive investors who are investing as a silent partner, into the deal as an equity partner, not a debt lender, which is two different things. But starting out with any kind of capital raising, the first place to do what you do very well, JJ, is how to position yourself as an authority, as a subject matter expert. And so one of the very first things that I did, I don't know how it came about, maybe because I just like to make fun of myself, but when I first started real estate 22 years ago, when back then we used to meet up RIA group in person. There was no Zoom back
Hmm.
then,
Hmm.
and when it comes to introduce myself, I'm 5'4", so I'm a short guy, but I would stand up on a chair and introduce myself as, "Hi, my name is Tim. I'm the tallest guy in the room," which got everyone laughing. And then and then I tell everyone, hey, I am looking for partners to partner up on deals. So if you have deals, bring it to me. So yeah, so that's I don't know how it came about, but I just gravitate to that way of positioning myself, and yeah, so it's the same way that I attracted a lot of private money back then. I've used to do a lot of fix and flips. I've done over 1,000 single family home deals in my career. So it's been a it's been a lot of deals, lots of fix and flips that I've done and wholesaling that I've done. And yeah, so that kind of introduction attracted both deals and attract passive investors to me. So that was my strategy. It's like just go to as many meetups as I can, find a way to stand out from everyone else, just by the way I introduce myself, and yeah, so that took me down to the whole um, uh, experience of first thing first before you do anything is looking at how you position yourself in the marketplace.
And that is so key. Obviously, I think anyone that's been in the game for a minute knows that. Everybody says, business is all about who you know, right? That's what my father's era said. That's what my grandfather's era said. But today in social media, you can know everybody from sitting behind a monitor. It's
Yep.
in today's world, it is no longer about who you know. It's about who knows you. You market yourself, you don't market your business. For those of you that are on the call right now watching on YouTube, I say it all the time, it's about networking with intention, making yourself visible. If you're not visible, you're invisible, and opportunity walks right past you. So, Tim, obviously, live meetups are the way to go, but also, we're on a Zoom right now. Zoom's a good way to go. But as we start to make ourselves visible, what's the
Mhm.
next step?
Yeah, so building your list, obviously. So once people know you, have a way for people to reach out to you. Like the way I love the way you do it, making sure everyone put their phone number, put where they're from. You know, in my case, I register my own domain name, so it makes it easy for people to find me. But when you go there, it's a link tree type page where it has all of my information. One of the links on there takes them to my digital business card. So my phone number, my email, so like everything that they need to know about me and how to find me, and they just go to that timmai.com and it's there. And and then so one of the things that I teach about capital raising, I kind of summarize it into like these three main steps, which is get known, get leads, and get capital, right? So get known, like you mentioned, all about how you position yourself, how you get the marketplace to know who you are, not just who you know, but who knows you, right? Just like what you're saying. So I talk about, in getting known, I also talk about knowing who your avatar is. If you're going to go, private lenders, very different than if you go with passive investor, high net worth individuals. It's a different avatar. So know who you want to target and know where they hang out, so that way you can target them. So one of the things I did in the residential side, there's a IRA custodian here in Houston called Quest IRA. They're pretty big in Houston. Almost every city has an IRA custodian that's dominant in that city. And so I would go to their meetings and meet with all of these IRA account holders.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes my private lenders, right? So once you position yourself and market yourself, get known, the next thing is to start to find out where they are. If you want to target like for example, in 2 weeks from now, I'm attending an event for dentists. I'm not a dentist. But I'm attending an event for dentists. Why? Because dentists is one of the type of passive investors that I want to attract, right?
Yeah.
And so knowing knowing who you're targeting, where they hang out, what events they go to, what Facebook group that they're in, you then go into those places and meet these people, right? Get to know them, nurture the relationship. My team and I, we put out a lot of lead magnets. So one of the lead magnets that works really well for us is teaching people how to pay zero taxes investing in real estate. So whether I'm talking to a business owner, I'm talking to a dentist or whoever, I have never met one single person who likes to pay taxes. And so,
Good point.
Yeah. So so we offer to give them our ebook on how to pay zero taxes investing in real estate, and so that becomes a conversation starter, and building the relationship from there.
Wow. Yeah. And as we always talk about, relationships, or real estate is a relationship business, because real estate is not something we can do on our own. And friend of yours is a friend of mine, Pace Morby. He talks all the time about, you can't wear all the hats. It's impossible. And if you really want to scale up your business, you have to find someone from every field of expertise, or whether they're a transaction coordinator, they're an acquisitions manager, just dispo manager. You can't wear all the hats, but it's a matter of finding the people that can, making yourself visible so people know you, so it's easier to build those relationships, and bringing those people in to assist us. So we get out there, we make ourselves visible, we go out, we find out where these people are at, we start to build these relationships. What next?
Once you and I don't know how deep you want to go with this conversation, JJ, because I can even show some cool stuff. Like one of the things I did in finding pretty much unlimited amount of private lenders that I wanted when I was doing my fix and flip. A lot of private lenders lend money out of their IRA account. So IRA account holders are one of my favorite type of private lenders, because
Wow.
those people, yeah, they they can't use the money outside of the IRA, right? And so they're kind of forced to have to invest it, and they don't mind to be on deals longer term. And so I would go on court record and search for, in my case, because Quest IRA, and you can do this with any IRA company, it doesn't have to be Quest, but because Quest is dominant here in Houston, so I would go on the courthouse record and search for, here in Texas, we call it, the mortgage instrument is called deed of trust. In your area, it could be a mortgage, whatever it is. But in a deed of trust, the way it works is that the borrower is the grantor, signing the deed of trust over to the lender, who's a grantee. So I would search for Quest IRA as a grantee. And when I do that, not only the court records will return back with Quest IRA and also the name of the Quest IRA account holder, and it also shows me the borrower's name as well. So I know, like, and if I want to look further into the deed of trust document, I can do that. But I have the borrower's name, I have the lender's name.
Wow.
All I have to do, yeah, all I have to do is skip trace for the lender's phone number and call them up. That's pretty much, it's like, hey, I noticed that you lend money out of your IRA accounts. I also do the same thing as well. And I'm always looking for potential, lenders to work with. And so that's pretty much my conversation. I would have a VA that would, like, all day long, just find these private lenders and reach out to them.
So, Tim, I mean, boy, talking about dropping some gold nuggets there. That's crazy. Um, let me ask you, if people are newer investors, is there any
Mhm.
kind of literature you could recommend, any kind of a book you could recommend? Are there certain websites that people might utilize that might facilitate their either their search for knowledge or various things that could assist them for learning?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, these days, YouTube is such an amazing resource because, all of these creators, these YouTube content creators, they want to get as many subscribers as they can. And so they produce amazing amount of content. And so definitely, utilize that. One of my friends, Jay Connor, he has a course that he teaches on how to find private lenders. But yeah, so there's a lot of resources out there. I don't teach how to find private lenders. I teach more how to find passive investors,
Mhm.
equity partners. So it's a little bit different kind. But yeah, so once you know how to position yourself, know how to target people, now it's the next step, is to have a way to capture their information, whether they're going to reach out to you, you're going to reach out to them. It's kind of like houses, right? Where, you find the leads, you put them to your CRM, you nurture that. Here's one thing I want to shift your mind around when it comes to raising money, whether it's from passive investors or private lenders. You know how, like, in houses, we have motivated sellers,
Mhm.
right? What's the definition of a motivated seller? They are someone who need to sell the house, not someone who want to sell the house, right? So in the war of capital raising, private lenders, passive investors, there's also a type of people that need to invest and the type of people that want to invest. And guess which type is the better type to work with, an easier type to work with,
Well,
right?
I
It's
would
the
imagine need to invest, right?
exactly. So that was a huge mindset shift for me, because I used to think that, hey, I can just go, my friends, family, people I know that have money, uh, and ask them for money. But it does work. It does work. However, it's not the easiest way to go about it. There are a lot of people out there that that have the money just sitting there, losing money through inflation, or they're paying a lot of money in taxes in the case of like a passive investor. And so I look for solutions of, okay, what's their pain point? Their pain point is number one, either they're not earning enough, or they're, they can't stomach the volatility of a stock market, but they have money that they need to invest. Like, it's not investing is not a it's not an option for them. It's something they have to do, right? Because otherwise they're just losing their money just having it sit there. And we all know how much inflation has gone up. Yeah. So I look for those people, and then I look for, like, what are some of their pain points, right? So for a private lender, if they can beat the stock market, if they can beat the inflation, they would be very happy with that. Um, and they would want it as, they want to invest it, they want to lend it to someone that they can trust, that will take care of the money. Because if I used to do a lot of private lending myself, and I know it's a pain to loan money to new people, whether it's a new client or new as in they're less experienced. It's because there's so many risks that goes into lending money to a new person. And so I look for someone that, that I can, that I like, I trust them, and that I know that, worst case scenario, yeah, like they're gonna work really hard to make sure that I'm made whole. And so that's what I look for as a private lender, right? And so I think the same way for my private lenders that I'm working with. Like, how can I make sure that that they can trust me, that they know they can trust me? Like, I've been in business for 22 years. Not one single private lenders, and I've done lots of private money loan, both as a borrower and as a lender. Not one single private lender has ever lost money with me. And so I use that to my advantage. I tell my private lenders that, is that no matter what, like, I'm gonna, even if the deal goes south, even if I lose money on the deal, and I have had to do it where after I sold the property, I lost money. I couldn't pay back my private lenders completely all at once. I would do monthly payments to make sure that they're made whole. So, like, I go out of my way to make sure that that relationship is very secure. And so, now on this passive investor side, passive investors, like, the type of investors that I like to work with the most are the ones that have big tax liabilities. So if they're paying 100,000 a year or more in taxes, I want to work with them because I can show them how they can get that down to, potentially zero.
Wow, that's
Uh, you know,
fantastic.
yeah, so instead of like the same $100,000 that they would write to Uncle Sam, I teach them how to use that money, invest into one of my deals, and have they call it a bonus depreciation. Have depreciation against their income, so that way, it's they can pay as little as zero in taxes, or sometimes even negative. Like, I had a deal last year where for every $100,000 you invest, you get back $220,000 in paper loss, in depreciation. That's huge, right?
That
So
is huge.
that can offset a lot of income. And
Tim,
so
Tim,
yeah,
let me ask
yeah,
you.
go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. Um, Talking about taxes. So obviously, having a good accountant plays a role in this somewhere, right? I know with my account,
Yes, for sure.
um, since I've become a real estate investor, even before that, I was kind of good as a landlord. But now that I'm an investor, I mean, I am kissing the ground this guy walks on because he's helping me out there. So as a new investor, as we're getting going, we don't always realize the players we should have on our team, a good contractor, a good real estate attorney, a good tax person, people to help us with our investments, such as yourself or other people of an investment background. So I just wanted to confirm that for some of the others that, as you're talking about tax write-offs, it's also beneficial for you guys to make sure that you've got a good tax person. Tim, we got a couple of questions. I'm going to bring some people in here. Rob, you're on with Tim Mai. What's your question?
Tim, how you doing?
Doing
And
good, Rob. Good to meet you.
hey, same here, man. And hey, everybody out there. So, Tim, I'm really excited here, man. I love your story. And first off, your strategy of sticking out, I love it. So the next meeting, next whatever meeting you're going to next, let me know because when you stand on that chair, I'm going to be on your shoulders. Okay?
Love it.
but secondly, what I need advice, I need some guidance on. Now I am an affiliate business and personal loan lender. So I'm learning everything as I go. So what's your best advice, guidance you can give me to strategize to connect with people? I'm doing the best that I can right now to try to market myself with the assistance of Dominic Austin. I see you out there, Dominic. You're the man. But I need guidance. I really want to understand how best to go find opportunity.
Okay. So you already have a source of money, is that correct? So you're not looking for like passive investors to partner with. You're more looking for borrowers, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So you're in a great position because the guy with the money always like people flock to, right? So
I
so
know.
yeah. So one of the things that I mean, there's a lot of things that you want to do, but just going into different Facebook groups. So you deal specifically with business owners only, or also with real estate investors as well?
Well, I'm trying to understand it, but it's business and personal as far as loans.
Business and personal. What
Yeah.
what kind of loans are they?
Dominic is in this room right now. He could probably best define everything for you because he's teaching me. He's guiding me. So
Okay.
I
Right.
really need to. It needs to be simplified for me to really distribute it.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let me ask.
So I'm just
Let me, Dominic, can we bring you on to help with the question?
Yes, yes, you
Okay,
can.
let's bring Dominic on.
Hey, Dom.
Hey,
Okay, we got Dominic
Hey, Dom.
Austin on.
hello.
So Rob, you want to ask that question again, and maybe once you ask it,
Yeah.
Dominic and Tim can engage on that question.
Now I'm trying to remember exactly what I asked, but I mean, I have material and flyers that I can distribute, but just on a one-on-one basis, I really want to feel more comfortable at ease and just defining who I am and what I provide. Just in a simple conversation, other than, I mean, granted, it's money, and that's my tactic right now because now I'm Rob the money guy, which is awesome. So everybody's trying to get at me, and I'm trying to go, wait. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to figure
Okay.
this out.
So guys, let me just jump in here for a second. Obviously, Dominic knows what he's doing in this industry, but Dominic, for those that aren't aware, let's let you kind of ask a question. When one is in your position and you're able to help people find funds, where maybe as you're asking Tim, you guys can both of you guys know opposite ends of the same answer here, but I guess the question is kind of what are you providing and what is the best way to find people? Is that the correct question, guys?
I think that's where Rob is getting at.
Yeah, yeah.
So what we so at eFunding Experts or Entrepreneur Funding Experts, one of the things, not one of the things, what we are pretty much a lending company. So we lend to a wide variety of people. We do business loans, and we do real estate loans, and we can also do personal loans for people as well. So those are like just the three. Those are the three categories typically that we can help fund people with. There's really no limitation as far as what market we can lend for because we have the real estate collateral loans. We have, we can do SBA grants. And then we have term loans, which just comes to people as cash. You can really do anything you want with those type of loans. Those loans can fill any need, including gap funds.
So now I'm just going to ask this
Okay.
question, kind of relates. what have you been doing to find your clientele? How have you been going about finding your clientele for the service you provide? Tim's been doing this for 20 years. Since he started when he was like 10, he's 30 now. But he's been doing this for a minute, and I'm not sure how long you've been doing this, Dominic, but you and I did meet recently, virtually.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So would that be a fair question? If you wanted to expand your business, Dominic,
Yeah.
would it be a fair question to ask, possibly Tim, ask for yourself, what's the best way to go about expanding your market? Is that a fair question?
Yeah. Yeah. For me specifically to answer.
Yeah, because let's
Yeah.
say you have this service you're providing. You have all these different things you could provide. And might it be a fair question to assist you in your business venture to possibly ask Tim, well, gee, Tim, with your experience, this is what I provide. What might, for someone like in Rob's position as an affiliate for yourself, what might be a good way to go about finding clients and expanding the business? I think that's where we're kind of going, right, guys?
Hey, I
Yeah,
couldn't have said it better.
yeah.
So Tim,
Yeah, and
up to you.
I understand. Yeah, I understand the question now. So it sounds like Dominic and your team has a wide range of products, loan products that you can offer to people. So what, Rob, you definitely want to get familiarized with each of those loan products, and I want you to decide on which one you want to focus in on first, because it will make it so much easier on you. And also too, depending on the community that you're in, like the Facebook group that you're in,
Yeah.
each of those loan products will attract the people in the group accordingly. So I'll give you an example. If you go into a group of flippers, offering them SBA loans, most likely they have zero interest in that, right?
Right.
But if you go in a group of business owners or business flippers, offering them SBA loans make a lot of sense for them, right? So if you're in a group of wholesalers of fix and flips, like house fix and flips, the gap lending would be a product that you would highlight. It's like, hey guys, I do gap lending loans. If you're interested in that, let me know. So utilize, decide on which product makes the most sense for that community that you're talking to, and promote just that product. So that way it's not overwhelming for you, because it sounds like it is overwhelming for you. You're not able to quickly figure out what all the different types of loans that we offer, right? So just pick one. And the gap funding is a really easy one to be able to do that with. And then let's say if you're in a group of landlords or a BO group, for example, right? Then offering the long-term loan is going to make more sense for them. It's like, hey guys, we have amazing loan product that is now only 6% interest. For your refi or your cash out, blah blah blah. Then, so knowing who your avatar is, knowing which product is best serve that avatar, then market that product to that avatar and position it in such a way that you bring value to them. It's like, hey, I offer free consultation. You don't even have to do any loans with me. But if you have any questions around the gap funding that we have for fix and flips, if you have any questions around, the long-term loans that we have for all of your BO refi, like, I'm your guy.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's your tagline, right? Tim Mai, I'm your guy.
Well, I guess it is now.
That could be a great new tagline, Tim.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have any. So when I was a private lender, one of the things I love to do, I print me a bunch of these $100 bill business cards. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah.
They called they called drop cards, and the reason why it's called drop card is because when you're out in public, you would drop your business cards on the floor, and it looks just like $100 bills. So people would pick it up and look at it. So let me find you some real quick.
There's no joke. There's no joke that you say that, because I literally yesterday I told my sister that I was going to buy one of those money guns that shoot out the fake money and put my QR code on it and just shoot it out. Really? I'm going to go out to the establishment.
No, that's good. Yeah. So yeah. So if you Google like $100 business card drop card, here I'm gonna put it in the chat here for you guys. If you just Google it, there's a bunch of different bunch of companies that will print them for you. But
there you go, $100 business drop cards. So Rob, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Great. Dominic, thanks for joining us, my friend. Hey, Darlene, you're on with Tim Mai. How you doing? What's your question?
Hi. Thank you, Tim. You're fabulous. I have never bought real estate, so I don't really understand how the tax benefit helps, because I talk to people who have, they have money in the real estate or in stocks or whatever, and they don't want to pay capital gains if they were to take that out to invest in real estate. And I'm like, but that's the whole point of investing in real estate, because that helps offset those gains. So how do I educate myself on that with a knowledgeable accountant, where I can be, I don't want to be giving false information out.
Right. Yeah.
Like looking at me like I'm crazy or something.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you two CPA authors that are pretty known in our industry, especially in the commercial real estate space. One is Tom Wheelwright. He's Robert Kiyosaki talked about him a lot. He's on he does a lot of work with Tom Wheelwright.
Okay.
And then the other one is Amanda Han, H-A-N. So Amanda, and then Han is H-A-N. She has two books around tax benefits of real estate investing. So both of those authors, if you just go on YouTube, search them, will opens you up. We'll educate you a lot on all the different tax benefits. But yeah, there's just so many ways. I mean, I won't be able to cover it all here, but everything from 1031 exchange to bonus depreciation, like I was talking about, to like I was dealing with a landowner that had he had over $50 million worth of land. He has two kids, and so I was educating them about step up in basis, where it's a way to transfer his wealth when he passed away, that the kids are not hit up with a big tax liability with all the capital gain taxes, because he owned this land for over 40, 50 years. And so so there's a lot of I mean, there's a lot of things within the tax code that allows us to have a lot of different benefits.
Great. Thank you, JJ, again, for such great content. I love this group.
Tim, there's just, I think we're not going to untie you from that chair, Tim. We're going to keep you tied to that chair for a couple more hours. Boy, you just dropped us some nuggets. So again, we talked about making ourselves visible. We talked about going out and finding where we can meet people. One of the things I want to ask is, now we want to make sure we get their info. I think you said that earlier. We want to get their number. We want to get their contact info, make sure we can follow up with them. Follow up is huge in this aspect of raising capital, right? We have to follow up with people.
Yeah, and serve them really, like kind of like what you're doing here. Like anybody that you want to do business with, the easiest way to do business is to find out how you can serve them, right? What challenges they have, what help do they need? I'm at because of the way I position myself, I do have a lot of people that would approach me now, because they're like, hey, Tim, I'm about to sell my business. I'm going to have a pretty big tax liability. Do you have deals that I can offset some of these gains? And so knowing how to position yourself, you can attract them. and people know how to solve, people know how you can solve their problems. So before I ask for any money, I want to make sure that they know I'm a solution for them, or at least I have resources for them. So I don't just go cold to some people and says, hey, I need, I need 100 grand for this deal. I need $1 million for this deal. Like, that's not how you ask money. It's always starts with the relationship first, figuring out how you can serve them. Once you do that, you gain the trust, then you can ask for the money.
Guy Varble, you're on with Tim Mai. How you doing today? And what have you got for Tim, Guy?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, Tim. Good to see you. Good to see you again. One of the things that you had mentioned was being a problem solver for people. What are some of the ways that you help uncover what their actual needs are and help them understand that, so that you're able to then find solutions for their needs?
Yeah, so great question, Guy. Really appreciate that. Yeah, like you literally just ask people. It's like, hey, what are you looking to get out of your investing? Are you looking for cash flow to retire, or that like I have one of my investors. Her thing was enough cash flow to pay for her kids' college tuition.
Right.
So it's like, great. So cash flow properties is more important to her than one that can triple her money, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't have cash flow. So I asked, like, what are you looking to accomplish? What are you looking to achieve with your investing? Is it cash flow that you want? Is it retirement income that you want? Is it to pay less taxes? Is it to grow your wealth because you don't need the cash flow right now? You rather invest in something that can double, triple its money within the next 5 to 10 years. What is it that you're looking for? And then from there, they'll share with me, and then, and I guide them from there. Yeah.
Sort of a follow-up then on that. How do you, and this is probably a little bit deeper and more difficult question, how do you help them understand risk, in the relative risk, in how they're thinking about their investment strategy?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because a lot of people don't even think to ask that question. Most people don't. And they compare at the surface level. It's like, hey, you're telling me that this deal can make me a 15% return, but I'm looking at this other deal and they promise a 30% return. And so, yes, I do have to explain to them the difference between risk-adjusted returns. Mm-hmm. So it's not just returns you're looking for, but risk-adjusted, meaning that if it's a new development, ground-up new development where there's more risk, then you want to have a higher return to adjust for that risk, right? And then if you have something that is, let's say it's very safe, you get a first lien position, you have you're in it at 50% LTV. It's like worst case scenario, you can make your money back and more. Then it's a much lower return. It might be only 8% return or 6% return even, right? And then depending on their level of sophistication, where I might have to use examples of how that works in real life. It's like, hey, the reason why banks can loan money at only 5%, 6% is because they're at a first lien position. If something happens, they can foreclose on the property, get the property, get the property back, resell it in the market, and so that's why the returns on those type of assets are much lower than when you're investing in a business where you might get a 50% return, but as with any business, is very dependent on the operator's ability to operate that business. And if that operator falls short on being able to execute their business plan, you have no collateral. You can't foreclose on anything, and so you can lose all of your money. Versus when you're in a first lien position, it's very, very small chance that you would lose all your money because the real estate itself, is backing the property. And so I use extreme cases like that as a comparison, so they can understand the risk adjusted returns, and then I bring it back to them and says, okay, if here are the different assets that we invest in, and the different level of risk that they might have, and so that's why some of our assets we project only a 15% annualized returns, versus some of our assets we project 25-30% annualized returns. So yeah, educate them on that. Because a lot of people have no clue what risk adjusted returns means.
Right.
And so in everything I do a lot of education to make sure that the investors understand these things.
Wow.
That's great.
Hey, Guy, thank you for your question. That was fantastic. Thanks for coming on and contributing. And for those watching on YouTube, Guy is one of our former guest speakers. Will be back again to speak in the future, and is himself a wealth of knowledge and highly respected in the community. Guy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, Tim, we only got 2 more hours to go till we're done. No, I'm kidding. We're just about wrapped up. This is a topic we can't cover in 45 minutes, an hour, much less 2 hours or 3 hours. It's a lifelong study. But I really appreciate you coming on today. You've been absolutely awesome, and I appreciate the opportunity to, although virtually, sit and spend time with you and get to know you better. If people want to reach out to you, connect with you, what's the best way to reach you? Would it be your MySpace page, your TikTok?
My OnlyFans page, let me give that to you, is timmai.com. Once you go on timmai.com, it has links to everything else that I do, including my digital business cards. So you have my phone number, my email address, all of that is on there. Your Instagram, which is usually a popular platform for people, is right here. They'd be following you as I'm following you. timmai.com, C-O-M for .com. One last question for you. You've kind of touched on this to some extent, not a great extent, but I'm always talking about networking, the importance of building relationships, importance of making ourselves visible. There's so many education platforms out there today, 50, 100, 200. They're charging hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for their education. They're all preaching about how to do the deal. But I'm always talking about networking and building relationships. For all these investors coming to these educational platforms, whether they're new or experienced, they're often using social media, meaning this Facebook group, for the first time for the development of their business. What is the true importance of networking with social media, making oneself visible to the growth and the success of one's business? Yeah. Great question. I mean, being my hack to, and this, hopefully this also answers Adam's questions as well on the chat there. But my hack to building your authority, building your social social presence, networking, it's always to position yourself as an educator. You see, all of us, we have been brainwashed for at least 12 years of our lives to see our teachers as an authority, as someone we need to listen to. And so now we can hack that by being a teacher ourselves. Mm-hmm. And there's many forms of being a teacher, like even JJ hosting this platform and interviewing others. He's bringing the education to you, so you view him as a teacher as well. And so I recommend that all of you guys do this. Go start your own Facebook group to attract the audience that you want to do business with, whether they're passive investors, they're private lenders, whoever it is, they're borrowers, whoever it is. Start a Facebook group, invite all of your Facebook friends, invite as many people to that group as you can. You can host weekly virtual meetups like this. You can, educate them in other ways, other type of content. With AI these days, content creation is super easy. So always think like, what else can I teach my audience today? Or who can I bring on to talk to my audience to educate them on something today? If you just continue to think that way, you become an amazing resource, and it makes networking a whole lot easier when people are seeking you out, when people are, when they see that you are speaking on other people's podcasts, other people's stages, other people's virtual meetups. And so make sure you position yourself as an educator. Start your own Facebook group, start your own virtual meetup or in-person meetup to service your avatar, the customers that you're wanting to attract.
Yeah, Tim, thank you so much. That is so on board. And I think the starting of the Facebook group is huge because that allows us to create a platform where we can surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. And, as I said, real estate's about relationships. People do business with people they don't like and trust. I personally throw trust out the window. If I don't like you, I'm not going to trust you. Business is about people that one knows and likes. They cannot know you. They cannot like you if they don't know you, and they can't know if you're not visible. So, as Tim says, create your group, build your visibility, let people that have the same mindset as you, develop your community. As I always say, build your network before you need it. Exactly. Tim, man, you were just such a rock star. I look forward to us having more conversation. Hopefully you can get out to LA next June of 25 and be a part of my event in Los Angeles. I thank you so much. Hey, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, please like Tim's presentation. Please put in the comments your takeaways, what you found valuable, what part of his presentation really resonated with you. Again, if you want to connect with Tim, timmai.com. First name Tim, last name Mai, M-A-I, timmai.com. Has his links on there, has his business card connection. If you want to connect with me, click this little link here. Scan the QR code, go to my Facebook page, click the register now button, register for my group. Here's my Instagram. There's actually the link to my website, jjzeason.com. Look for more stuff coming up on facebook.com. Excuse me, my Flipside-Up channel, Flipside-Up on YouTube. If you guys are on the call, do not go away. We're going to have some more questions for Tim. We'll have some live breakout rooms. And Tim, man, you just really dropped some bombs. Great value. I cannot thank you enough. Look forward to the day when we can be in the same room, if not on the same stage, and shake hands and get a picture together.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll see everybody else out here in the land of virtual reality and Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yep. Well, thank you so much, JJ, for having me on today. It's been an honor and a privilege to be on here. Really appreciate you. Thanks everyone for being on here and hanging out with us today.
Thank you so much, Tim. Don't go away. We're going to join the rest of the group in just a minute. Everybody else watching us on YouTube, thank you so much, and look for more from Flipside with JJ coming up soon.